So, as you know, I am a recruitment consultant by trade, and I currently recruit for the video games industry, which I absolutely love. So, I see an awful lot of CVs or resumes, depending on where you're from, what you call them. And today I wanted to give you my top 5 tips on how to create a really good CV. So the first one is, you would think is quite obvious, but actually we do tend to find that actually sometimes in my career of 10 over 10 years of recruiting, I have seen CVs that actually do not have people's personal details on them. So first up, you need to have your name at the top. Now, if you're lucky enough to have letters after your name, please do not include them in the title. We use special software now that actually picks up all the main details and creates a candidate record for you. And when you start adding things into where the software is kind of programmed to expect to see certain details, it confuses the software and sometimes saves things wrong. So just keep your name as the first line on your CV, literally as simple as that. Pop your address in there. If you're a little bit sort of like, I don't really want to put my full address in, please make sure that you put the region that you come from as well as the country as a minimum. Again, the software picks this up and records it in your candidate record. Contact details, so important. A mobile cell number. Please make sure you put your country code in as well. I deal with people from all across the world, and I'll sometimes get a CV from Spain, for example, and it's just got the local number on it. Now, it's no big deal for me to go and find the country code. That's fine if I don't already know it. But again, for the purposes of saving your record correctly, make sure you put your country code in before your actual number. Email, please make sure it's spelt correctly. Something that's also worth remembering now is if you're actually in the market of looking for a new role and you've emailed out your sort of added in your CV to a database of some description, check your junk and your spam file. What tends to happen these days is a lot of people check their emails on their phone and quite often only scroll through their inbox. I send out job descriptions and I try where possible to actually ring people before I do so and talk to them in person. But people can't always answer the phone when they're at work and don't always have access to voicemail. So please check your junk and spam file, because it's possible that a recruiter or a company has actually responded to your application, but it's not fallen in your inbox. Skype as well, if you have a Skype ID, include that. So that's your first part. Second part should be your personal professional introduction. Introduce yourself, a paragraph, just 4 or 5 lines, but just say who you are and what you do. So if you are a business development person or you're a marketing person, say, I am an experienced brand manager. I have 8 years of experience, and so on. That is also really good for picking up keywords for matching for jobs. Next up should be your key skills and key accomplishments. This is quite often missing out of a lot of CVs that I have read over the last 10 years. Just in bullet points, 5 to 8 bullet points, but list your key skills. And if you are a sales or business development person, please try and include some figures. Appreciated that your current company might be under NDA, but even if you can put a percentage of how much you hit your target and over by, that is also incredibly helpful. Next up needs to be your employment sector in chronological order, with the first company that you're working for now, your present company, should be at the beginning and you're working backwards to when your employment first started. Include your company name, the location, and the dates that you were there. and then follow that by a short 1 or 2 line introduction to what the company is and what they do, and then follow up that with 5 to 8 bullet points of your general duties. Next up should be your education and your qualifications. So unless you're a recent graduate, this is where it should be, not at the beginning of your CV, okay? And then finally, point number 5 is your interests. Now, with some companies, they obviously may not be too worried about what your interests are, but certainly in the video games industry, our clients like to see people who are passionate about video games. So they want to employ people who are gamers in their personal time. So popping that into your interest section is crucial to being invited to an interview in a lot of cases and in quite a few industries. So that is my top 5 tips to improve your CV. I hope that has helped. Take care. Bye.